Welcome back to another episode of Breathe More. For the second episode, I wanted to dive into what is breathwork. It is a word that maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't. Maybe you're not even really sure what it means. I'm going to give you my definition and also how I use it in my practice, which is very different than how other people or other breathwork facilitators use it. But before we dive in, I want you, if you're able to, inviting you to gently close your eyes or just drop your gaze and notice your breath. How are you breathing in this moment? Are you holding your breath? Does it feel like there's some tightness in your chest? Or are you noticing that your breathing feels effortless and it's long and deep and it makes you feel good? And now slowly and gently take a deep breath in through your nose. And let's hold our breath to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And a slow, long exhale out of your mouth. Let's take another deep breath in. And hold your breath again to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slow, long exhale out of your mouth. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes again or come back to this present moment. Our breath is something that our body does naturally. Most of us don't even notice it, aren't aware of it. Yet out of the 20,000 breaths that you take every single day, it's giving you information. It's reflecting back to you how you're feeling, what your emotional state is. So at the beginning of this practice, I had you notice your breath. So if you noticed that your breathing felt shallow, that you were breathing using your chest, then that's telling me that you're probably feeling stressed out. If you notice that your breath was using your diaphragm, deep, long belly breaths, that it felt soft and easy, then that tells me that you are feeling safe and that you're relaxed and you're feeling at ease. The beautiful thing about your breath is that you have the power to manipulate it, to change it. So if you're feeling a certain way, or you don't want to feel that way anymore, if you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, low on energy, you can use your breath to change that. It's simple, it's free, and you can do it at any time. So breath work is basically you manipulating your breath. Is an active form of meditating. And one of the reasons that I love it is because breath work is for anyone who considers themselves not being a good meditator. People always say, like, I suck at meditating. I can't sit still. My mind is always super busy. Well, with breath work, we're not quieting our mind. We're just following our breath. We're noticing it and changing it. And breathwork is kind of a general term that's used to describe different types of breathing. The technique that I use with my clients and my students is a 2-stage breathing pattern. So I'm having them breathe using their diaphragm first. So when you take a breath, and if you want to practice along, you can place your hands on your belly. And you take a deep breath, whether it's in through your nose or in through your mouth. You should feel your belly expand. And then I have them take a second inhale up into their chest. And then they exhale. So they're breathing using their belly, using their chest, and then exhaling. And we do this circular breath for a while. Usually my breathwork sessions are about 30 minutes. The active breathing is about 20, and then we go into resting breath. But what this does is it helps to bring their body to a state of safety, of resting, digesting. We're able to switch our nervous system from being in the high alert, the sympathetic, into the parasympathetic. And that's also a really important state to be in, especially if you are needing to make an important decision. If you want to no longer be someone who just automatically reacts to stuff, if you want to be in a place of power and be able to see clearly, you can just take some simple, deep belly breaths. You're able to ground your body and to shut off the alarm system going off in your body of like, danger, danger, danger. And you're able to recognize, okay, am I really in danger right now? Or am I just feeling stressed out or overwhelmed? Or did I just get triggered? And instead of having my automatic trauma responses take over, I'm going to be in charge in the present moment and respond to what's happening in front of me. There's, as I mentioned, a lot of different types of breathwork practices. If you practice yoga, you're familiar with some of them, breath of fire. There's also some techniques where you're counting and holding your breath. There's Wim Hof, which is more of a hyper oxygenating your body. It's more intense. The reason that I like this 2-stage breathing pattern is that it's pretty gentle for most people. One thing that I never want to do in my practice is re-traumatize my clients or activate them to the point where they're feeling unsafe. And so I like to take a more gentle approach when guiding people to connect with their breath, because a lot of people feel unsafe in their body. I mean, we live in a society where we're constantly being taught and encouraged to disassociate, to not be present, to numb ourselves, to distract. And so to actually feel and be in our body, that can be unsafe for a lot of people. So I like to work gentle so that your body is able to hold whatever capacity you're able to hold in that moment. And we gently increase that capacity so that you continue to feel safe and trusting and really use it as a tool to help you heal, move energy, and manifest, because that's the way that I like to use it as well. One of the ways that makes me different as a breathwork facilitator compared to other people, I mentioned that I like to take a slower approach. I meet you where you're at, and I also empower you to decide how much you're going to breathe. Again, it's not about overwhelming yourself or stressing out your body. And I've done breathwork classes where the facilitator is constantly yelling at you and constantly barking at you, keep on breathing. But if that's too much for someone, it can have negative effects. And so as an intuitive, I also just honor what's coming up for my clients and gently pushing them or nudging them to go outside of their comfort zone, but not to the point where unconsciously or consciously they're doing this practice and feeling unsafe. The other thing that makes me unique is that when I started to hold space, I was doing breathwork circles. And what I found was that I was hearing things, and this might sound a little strange, but I was hearing messages and I would try to ignore them, but those messages got even louder. So I literally remember the point where I was teaching at a yoga studio, and instead of trying to push these messages off to the side, I just decided to vocalize it. Didn't know if it was going to land or how people were going to receive it, but I just blurted out whatever was channeling through me. I didn't even know that that's what was happening. And the beautiful thing was that after class, I had a few students come up to me and say that the messages that I shared with the class was exactly what they needed to hear. Someone else said, it was exactly what I was thinking. It was kind of trippy. I felt like you were in my head. And that's actually a comment that I get quite often when holding space for my clients, where it's like, I feel like you're in my head. And it's just beautiful validation where sometimes it's helpful to hear it from someone else, even a stranger, in order to really hear the message or do that thing that we know that we have to do, but we've been putting off. And so I learned that I'm a clairvoyant, and I believe that we are all intuitive beings. We just have to develop it and nurture it a little bit. As children, we're very in tune and connected. But a lot of times we grow up in a household or an environment where we learn really quickly that that's unsafe, or we're told to stop playing make-believe or to stop listening to those imaginary friends or voices. And so we turn off that gift, that connection to our intuition and to other forms of life. And so with this practice with breathwork, my intuition became very open, and to the point where it actually became a little overwhelming. And some of the healers that I was working with suggested that I go to a clairvoyant school so that I learn how to basically protect my space so that I'm a clear channel and I'm not using my own energy to give to my students, because that's unsustainable and that depletes you. So now I feel super energized after my breathwork classes and sessions with clients, because I'm just this open channel and using just the energy of the universe to hold space, as opposed to feeling like I'm the one doing the healing. So going to a clairvoyant school was very helpful. I was there almost for 2 years, and that has allowed my clients to have accelerated results, where it's not uncommon to have new clients come to me, do one session, and have such a huge breakthrough that they tell me in the 20 years that they've been in therapy, they have never made that connection. That always warms my heart. And also, it just proves that there's different ways of, it's evidence, at least for me and my brain and my clients, there's different ways of embarking on a healing journey. I love therapy, but I'm also someone that likes to do things fast. And a lot of times what I find is my clients, for the most part, are in therapy or have been in therapy, and they're really great with their awareness. They have their diagnoses. They know their traumas, but they're still feeling the same way. And so with my work, with breathwork, and also with my intuitive gifts, we're actually able to move past that and have them start to reprogram their beliefs. That's another way that I use breathwork, where sure, we can use it as a tool to regulate our nervous system, to go from a state of being overwhelmed to calmer and more relaxed. But you can also use it as a tool for healing. And so when you come to one of my breathwork classes, or if we work together in one of my programs, it's deep, the work that we do. I don't do any surface level. If that's what you're looking for, I'm not the right facilitator for you. I want to help you actually receive what it is that you want to receive in your life, to have the results that you want. And so that's going to require a little bit of digging work. And so I do a lot of inner child healing in my work. I do a lot of self-worth and self-love, confidence boosting. And when we are in the act of breathing, you're also able to enter into a meditative state where we're able to quiet our fear-based voice. We're able to access information from a different place, of feeling expansive of the possibility. That's another way that some of my clients use breathwork, is that they use it to do creative problem solving. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, really successful folks. And sometimes they come to me, even though on paper they are so successful and wealthy and have accomplished a lot. The lack of confidence creeps up, or tension comes up, a problem, issues with employees, team, whatever it is. And so in this deep meditative state of using their breath, we're able to think outside the box. And so there's a lot of different ways that I love using breath work, and I love to custom tailor it to my clients so that, again, they can accomplish whatever goals they're looking to accomplish. And so that's another way that makes me different than other people who practice breath work, where let's use this as a tool to help you heal, transform your life, feel empowered, be connected with your life force, with your energy, and feel courageous enough to set those boundaries, to use your voice, to share your gifts, to start taking action towards your goals. So I hope you have a little bit more understanding of what breathwork is and how I use it to help you. And if you're curious to explore more of how breathwork can help you, there's a lot of different ways that you and I can work together. If you want to do some meditations, you can download my Breathwork for Anxiety program, 9 meditations, different breathing exercises to help support your body and just bring it back to a place of ease and safety. And if you're looking to manifest using breathwork, check out my Dream Bigger Mastermind, which is launching real soon. We're starting it at the end of October. And that's a really fun container where it's a combination of healing and expansion and manifesting, all while being in an amazing community. All right, folks, thank you so much for listening, and we will connect real soon.